another time with Tutor Ayo, and today's tutorial it's going to be the very first class on the course, POL251, 215, I beg your pardon, and it's all about political thoughts. It's a little bit bulky. I'm sure it's a little bit bulky. There are stories, but we'll just try and see how we can make the best out of it, get the points and things we need out of the material so that we can have our classes. With this being said, let's hop straight into it. And I want to apologize for the delay in timing. All right. I wish the network provider, service providers can do better so we don't have issues with network anymore. But this is Nigeria. All right. We look forward to those better days. So thank you very much, everyone, and we apologize for the delay. So with this being said, let's hop straight into it. So we have 215. We're going to be talking about political thought. Political thought. Now, when we say political thought, what are we talking about? Okay. Now, political thought is the study, all right, study of questions concerning power, justice, law, and other issues. Anything attached to power, justice, rights, law, and other issue pertaining to governance. All right. POL251. Now, anything pertaining to government. All right. Anything pertaining to what? Government. The study of anything. The study of anything pertaining to government. All right. Things like the law, all right, justice, rights, all right, rights, and we have power. Any issues pertaining the study, political thought, it's about the study of anything pertaining to government. Say, for example, law, justice, rights, right, and power. Okay, we're also going to take the definition of some scholars on the subject matter. And now, political thought can be used loosely to cover any abstract thought. All right, used loosely. All right, to cover, are we together, any abstracts, any abstract standing alone, all right, to cover any abstract thought about politics. All right, abstract thoughts about politics, okay, abstract thought about politics, law, or the society. All right, this philosophy being in general term, all right, search for wisdom and understanding. All right, now it can be used loosely to cover any abstract thought about politics, all right, law, or society. Now, basically, it's just all about the search for wisdom and understanding when it comes to political system, when it comes to governance. Now, let's also take a look at this. Now, it says here, political thought, all right, has been described as man's attempts all right, political thought. That's what we are talking about. Now, it's said to be man's attempt to consciously understand and solve the problem of his group life and organization. See where we are tracing it to? Group life and organization. Let's not forget one of the, all right, what makes up a state. All right, we have population. All right, a group of people occupying a definite territory. All right, now then we can now begin to talk about governance. Although the state is permanent, but government is not. All right, but what are we talking about? Man's attempt to what? Man's attempt to consciously understand and solve the problem of his group life and organization. To consciously, okay, understand and solve consciously understand and solve the problem of his group life and organization. Okay, now Sabine and Thorson in 1973. Sabine, all right, Sabine, I think it's Sabine, as a Sabin, Sabine and Thorson in 1973. They also made their own contribution to the subject matter. All right, and what was their contribution? In 1973, Sabine and Thorson described political thought as an intellectual tradition, okay, whose history consists of the evolution of man's thought about political problems over time. I love this definition. All right, that's Sabine and Thorson in 1973. All right, intellectual tradition, intellectual tradition, okay, whose history consists of the evolution. All right, this tradition whose history consists of okay, are we together? Okay, now please, as you join, do well to say hello something, and so I can know we're all on the same page. And if you are here to smash the like button or subscribe to the channel, kindly do that. So as I was saying, Sabine, awesome, thank you for that, man. So as I was saying, Sabine and Thorson, all right, also made their contribution to the subject matter. And according to them, They say it is an intellectual tradition whose what? Who consists of, all right, this tradition, history, all right, whose history consists of something which is evolution, all right, evolution, year in, year out, all right, evolution of men's thought about politics, all right, evolution of men's, human generally, men and women, thought, all right, about political problems, over time, all right. So we have that as that. Still on the subject matter, political thoughts. Okay, and as you can see, anything that pertains to governance, law, justice, right, and power. All right, and it can be loosely used, all right, to cover any abstract thought that, all right, about politics, law, or society. And it's also said to be man's attempt to consciously understand, all right, and solve the problem of his group life and organization. And Sabin and Thorson here said in 1973, all right, that it's an intellectual tradition whose history consists of evolution of men's thoughts, all right, thoughts about political problems. Now let's continue. Now we have that as that on what we call political thoughts. Now let's continue with some of these points as the class commences. Now we have here that the origin of Western politics, all right, the origin of Western political thought has often been traced the origin of Western, all right, Western political thought, all right, has always been traced to the 5th century, all right, traced to the 5th century, all right, that is the origin. Okay, now please understand that this origin, all right, 5th, that is traced, the origin of political thought that is traced to the 5th century, all right, is before Christ and is often associated with Greece, all right, 5th century, which is before Christ, and it is associated, often associated with with Greece. All right, it is often associated with Greece. So we have, now let's look at another point. Now it's often associated with Greece because the golden age of Athens or Pericles is often assumed to be the beginning of Western political civilization. All right. Western pole civilization. Okay. It is assumed that Western political civilization began during the Golden Age. The Golden Age of Athens or Pericles. Please, let's note all these points. It's a lot of stories, unnecessary stories in the material. All right, so it takes extra for to bring out points. So we are going to bank on them because we're not going to be asked to write essay or something in the exam. So it's basically this. Now let's continue. Western political civilization is assumed to have begun during the Golden Age of Athens and what we call Pericles. Now, historically, Greece is a place where Europeans contacted the civilization of ancient Middle East and where they crossed the threshold of science, philosophy, and political theory. All right. So Greek here is the point. Greece is the point of contact. All right. For all right. Historically, it is the point of contact for the European civilization of the Middle East. All right, of the Middle East. All right, and this is where they cross the threshold. All right, before then, a little bit of science, philosophy here and there, and political thoughts. But after the point, all right, of coming in contact with Greece, all right, that led to the European civilization of the Middle West, all right, they beat the threshold. It's like an eye opener, all right, it's like an eye opener, and they were able to beat the threshold. All right, the threshold of science, all right, technology and political thoughts. So we have that as that. Now let's continue. So okay, cross the threshold. That's a thresh. All right, the threshold of science, philosophy, all right, and pole thoughts. All right, so that is it on that. Now we also have it that the history of West political philosophy begins with ancient Greece. Please note all those points. The history of Western political philosophy begin with what? Ancient. Begins with ancient. All right, Greece. So we have that as that. Now let's continue. Now, Greek politics was characterized by the existence of city-states. All right, was characterized. Greek, all right, was characterized by what we call, all right, existence of city-states. All right, basically that's what their politics is all about. Is dependent on city-states, or what we call polis. City-states, or we have polis. Now, Aristotle strongly asserts another point. Aristotle strongly asserts that because this so-called polis or city-state is what the politics of Greek is all about. It's tied to it. Now, Aristotle now said, anyone, he strongly asserts that any man who can live outside the polis is either a beast or a god. A small god, I mean to say. So, now let's take this down. Okay, that's what Aristotle said in the words of Aristotle, that anyone who there lives outside this polis, which is characterized by the ancient Greeks politics, is either referred to as a beast or as a god. Okay, now the medieval, all right, the medieval political system. When we say medieval, we're talking about ancient, old, all right. The medieval political system was based on the idea that, all right, Pope and Emperor, as vicar of Christ, were jointly responsible for governance of, all right. Now, this is just a point about what politics was like during the medieval era, all right, during the medieval era, all right. And basically, then it was based on all right, medieval, not via, all right, medieval system was based on the idea all right, of Pope and Emperor. Was based on the idea of Pope and Emperor as vicar of Christ were jointly responsible for the governance, all right, for the governance of the day, and we have that as that. Now, so basically what they're trying to tell us is that political system then during this era, all right, was more of a responsibility of the church, all right, because according to what we have here, it is emphasis are being laid more on the church, all right. As you can see, there's a pope and there's an emperor, all right, and is a vicar of Christ, all right. And according to what St. Thomas Aquinas now said, he said he supports the church supremacy over the state, all right. So church was acknowledged then over the state, all right. Pope and emperor as vicar of Christ, all right, were jointly responsible, all right, for the governance of Christendom. So St. Thomas Aquinas, all right, that's are we together? Okay. Aquinas, all right, in 1225, all right, to 1274, he supported, all right, support the supremacy of the church over the states. Support the supremacy of the church over the state. Now let's take note of this point. There's an era, all right, the feudal era, okay, lasted for about 10 centuries, all right, lasted for about 10 centuries, okay, are we together? Now let me take that down. Just a moment, I'm trying to get my notes correctly. All right, this era okay, no it's on my notes, but I think I have it now, lasted for about era lasted for about 10 centuries, all right, and this era basically it's a social economic system of land ownership, all right, a socio economic system of land ownership, all right, it's a social economic system of land ownership wherein lords, all right, the lord release out the land, all right, to serfs who own loyalty to the lords, all right. So this was an era that the lords and the serfs dominated, okay, characterized by lord and serfs. Okay, the lords, they are the one that controls the land ownership, right? And they give it to their serfs, which are more of their boy, more of, right? Their loyal, their people that are loyal to the lords. All right, they are the serfs, and we have to understand. Now, under this feudal system, man's social, economic, and political relevance was dependent on relationship of the land. All right. All right. Under this system, man's social, economic, and political relevance was dependent, all right, on his relationship with, all right, to the land during this what we call feudal era that lasted for about 10 centuries. All right. So we have that as that. So before we call it a wrap for today, let's quickly take let's take what we call concept of political theory. All right, the concept of political theory. Now, when we say the concept of political theory, we are talking about political theory, all right, dealing with ideas and principles, all right, that shape, constitute government and social life systematically. All right. Now, what is the concept? What as political theory, all right, political thought does it come to achieve? All right. So we're going to be talking about the concept itself now. So we're going to be looking at that. Now, when we say concept of political thought, what are we talking about in essence? Concept of whole theory. All right. Now, political theory deals with the ideas, all right, principles, ideas and principles. These principles and ideas shapes, all right, shapes, constitutes, all right, this principle and idea shapes, constitutes, all right, governs, all right, and socializes the lifestyle of the people systematically. Now let's take this together. Political theory deals with the idea and principles that shape, all right, the constitution, government, and social life systematically. Ideas and principles that shapes the constitution, all right, government, all right, government and social life of the people. Okay, so we have that as that. Now, political theory seeks to understand, explain, and analyze political phenomenon. Okay, it as well describes ways and means to rectify the shortcoming of politics. Now let's take that point. Pole theory, all right, seeks, all right, it seeks to understand. It doesn't just stop at understanding, it also seeks to explain. All right, then after explanation, it also seeks to analyze. Okay, so sorry about that. Now, political theory seeks to understand, all right, explain, and analyze. All right, and analyze political what? Phenomena. All right. Okay. And also what? Prescribes. It recommends. Prescribes way and means. Ways and means to rectify shortcoming. Okay, so we have that as that. As far back as 5th century before Christ, Plato and Aristotle discussed with their students whether monarchy or democracy was better. All right, I think I should give that as an assignment. All right, monarchy let me write this clearly. So assignment, monarchy, all right, or democracy, which is better? Explain with not less than 200 words. All right. So Miss Regina, Mr. Joe, please note that monarchy or democracy, which is better? Explain with not less than 200 words. All right. Now, we have that as that, and quickly let's touch on the significance of political theory. Right? What are the significance of political theory? Don't forget we've explained political theories about, all right, in some few points. So let's talk about the significance. Now, the significance of political theory is that it helps to control social life. All right, it helps to control social life. By the time you have knowledge, all right, you are knowledgeable about the politics, the government of your state, it helps to put you in check. All right, your social life is in check, so it helps to control social life. It also helps what? Social criticism and reconstruction. All right, now the point here, it says understand, explain, and analyze. All right, when you begin to analyze, you will always see loopholes, and there will be room to correct, to develop upon what has been in existence. All right, so one of the significance of political theory is that it helps what? In doing social criticism. All right, and when we say critics, it's not usually negative. All right, critics are also positive, just to give you an idea of what you are doing wrongly and how you can improve on it. All right, critics and reconstruction. So we also have, it encourages mutual respect and tolerance. That's the third point. Significance of political theory, it encourages mutual respect, all all right, and tolerance. The tradition of political theory encourages a dignified, all right, dignified debate between scholars of different points of view, basically, all right. But what we are saying here is that it helps to what? Encourage mutual respect and tolerance among citizens. My goodness, how would you know I'm from Nigeria? Just give me a moment. Let me switch on my backup. Okay. So sorry about that. I think it's a bit better now. So basically we are already about to conclude the class for today. And on this note, we'll be calling it a wrap for today. And hopefully in our next class, Mr. Joseph, you are just joining the class. Wow, he came pretty late. We are already concluding the class for tonight. And please, let's do well to observe the assignments. All right, please send your assignment to the class, all right, before our next class. Thank you very much, everyone. And I will be looking forward to seeing you all in subsequent classes. Bye-bye.